In the last episode, I explained that consistent effort over the long term makes the biggest difference to your performance. To achieve that, there's a common denominator: discipline. Discipline is what you need when your motivation has run dry, and it's exponentially more important. Discipline comes from caring enough about achieving something that you'll do what it takes, even when things become difficult. Let's break this down into component parts so that you can make practical use of it. Firstly, you must strongly want to achieve something, have a meaningful goal. Next, doing what it takes involves taking appropriate steps to reach that goal with an adequate level of effort or intensity. And doing this, even when things become difficult, requires consistency over the long term. I see discipline as a formula. Discipline equals goal times intensity times consistency. Understanding how to use this will turbocharge your discipline and the results you'll see from your training efforts.
Fighters, welcome back to another episode of Heatrick Muay Thai Performance.
In this episode, I'll explore how to build the discipline needed to become the best fighter you can be. We'll take my formula, discipline equals goal times intensity times consistency, and expand on exactly what each part brings to your level of discipline and how you can maximize each one. As an analogy, the discipline needed to boil water, a goal, requires you to apply enough heat, intensity, for long enough, consistency. Remove any of these elements and discipline simply falls apart. I find the discipline to become a better fighter is rarely sabotaged by lack of intensity or effort, rather it's lack of consistency that leaves this goal unfulfilled. And for me, consistency has two components: focus and grit. First, effort must be focused or applied heading in the right direction. For example, when boiling water, you're wasting intensity if you sometimes apply the heat underneath, directly heating the water, and sometimes above, heating the air instead. The goal of boiling water must be broken down into specific steps that align with achieving that goal. Merely applying heat or intensity isn't clear enough. Heat must specifically be applied beneath the water to achieve the desired effect. The same is true of fighters training. Too many fighters intensely heat the air while expecting their performance to boil. For example, they're using running in ways that no longer improves endurance. They're using resistance training in ways that won't ever build explosive power and maximum speed. They're wasting effort by either not having a clear enough goal or not understanding the best steps required to achieve it. Secondly, consistency is about having the grit to keep going long enough to achieve the result when it either doesn't happen immediately or you have setbacks. It'll take many minutes of adequate heating to boil the water. Giving up after a minute and trying something else leads to failure. To succeed, you must trust the process. In fact, the real magic happens when you love the process as much as the intended result. Success then becomes a byproduct of you doing what you love. It's a byproduct of who you are. And that's how you'll find the discipline to confidently focus your efforts for long enough to smash your goals and take yourself to a new level. But how can you become a gritty fighter? Develop that ability to consistently keep going even when things are tough. When we apply grit to our physical training, pushing through a tough training session, we often call that grind. To be gritty, you need to both believe enough in your ability to meet the challenge you're facing and for the challenge to stretch you enough not to be either too easy and boring or too difficult, petrifying. I previously spoke of loving the process in order to find the gritty consistency required to meet your goal. But how can we do that? Dr. Angela Duckworth describes grit as the combination of passion and perseverance. The passion side of this is where I'm going now. To love the process, you must find flow. Flow state is that feeling where, under the right conditions, you become fully immersed in whatever you're doing. Time feels like it's slowed down. Your senses are heightened. You're at one with the task at hand. And action and awareness sync to create effortless momentum. Some people describe this feeling as being in the zone. And it sounds like you do in Muay Thai, doesn't it? That's why you love it. It takes you into flow. Psychologist and grandfather of flow, the late Mihai Csikszentmihalyi described flow in his 2004 TED Talk like this. There's this focus that once it becomes intense leads to a sense of ecstasy, a sense of clarity. You know exactly what to do from one moment to the other. You get immediate feedback. Flow releases neurochemicals that give you a high. Your brain releases a cascade of norepinephrine, dopamine, anandamide, serotonin, and endorphins. All 5 of these are performance-enhancing neurochemicals, but they also make you feel awesome. By following a path that sets tasks that help you find flow, you'll begin to love the process. However, you must still develop pure grit too, because some training tasks won't give you flow in themselves. But by being gritty and sticking with these challenging tasks because you know they're essential steps towards your goal, you're building the mind and the body that can handle a greater challenge without dropping out of flow and into anxiety or fear. You must also use failures and setbacks as opportunities to learn how to become better instead of taking it to heart and quitting. When you come up short, your attitude is crucial. If your internal dialogue is "I'm learning and improving" instead of "I'm a failure with no talent for this," then you're destined for consistency and getting the best out of yourself. In short, develop what Dr. Carol Dweck calls growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset about your Muay Thai performance. In our podcast chat together, UK Muay Thai legend Liam Harrison demonstrates his growth mindset when he says, "I've failed my way to success." That growth mindset was on display in his amazing One Championship fight against Muay Thai at 156. He came back from being knocked down twice in a row in that first round, only to knock Muay Thai down 3 times in a row in the same round to emerge victorious. Grit is a habit like any other. You automatically behave how you behave on a regular basis, especially when you're under stress and fatigue. And your greatest achievements come from a combination of chasing flow while respecting the need for grit to push you through the sticking points that drive into even greater opportunities for flow. I'm rooting for you. Find that flow and have the grit to fight for it. And I'd love to guide you through the steps that will make you a better fighter. You can download the Optimal Fight Camp Blueprint from the show notes page, or join one of my online programs if you want to work with me right away. Doors to my flagship Heavy Hitters program open twice a year with limited spots. If enrollment's open right now, you can grab a spot right away. Otherwise, you can join the VIP waitlist to get early notification next time the doors open.
Thanks for listening. If you found this valuable, please like, subscribe, and share with someone else it could help too. Please give the podcast a review or comment below. We'd love to hear from you. As always, you can visit Heatrick.com for more Muay Thai performance podcasts, videos, articles, and guides. Catch you next time.